Why you're judging and condemning yourself and hating on yourself over and over. Are you doing it because there's something that you're trying to protect? Is it because you are trying to prove to other people that you're sorry for what you did? Is it because you're scared of being found out for the mistakes that you've made and being told about it, so you are constantly reminding yourself of being the failure first, because it would be less painful if you tell yourself you're a failure, so at least others, when they chime in with you, they're like, okay, cool, that guy's aware, he's a failure. Oh, okay, cool, they see it. Matt sees that he sucks. Okay, phew, if I don't have to rub it in that much.
You like this, you like being daddy's arms and microphones. You like being a worker. You were made for the camera. Both my boys are.
Hey, this video you are about to watch is a part of a series where I show you how to quit porn the right way. So do yourself a favor, binge on all of this content, all the videos that you possibly can, because who knows, maybe if the value and the trust is built together over this journey, you'll want to jump into a community that I call Fit for Family. Or maybe you think these videos suck, and that's also fair too. But nonetheless, there's only one way for us to find out. So enough of me, let's get back to serving you and let's get back to the video. All right, man, let's talk about one of the biggest things as a result of struggling with porn. It's guilt, condemnation, and self-hatred. I've had a massive relationship with these three guys my whole life. It's like we're the three amigos, the three musketeers, the three blind mice. Well, I guess if I'm the fourth guy, it means that we're the four of it all. My point that I want to bring up with you in having this conversation right now is understanding your relationship to guilt, condemnation, and self-hatred and why you do it. And I could talk about this for hours with you, but I want to just concentrate it into a small portion right now to just help open your eyes, open your mind on why we're doing this. And I want to filter it with my own vulnerability or just transparency and sharing with you in my life why I would guilt myself, shame myself, condemn myself, and hate who I was constantly. And here's why. Is as a kid, for anybody, when we get judged, when we get criticized, when we get told, that we're bad, that we're wrong, anything like that, it's painful. It's really, really painful. And especially when we screw up and we watch porn, it's really painful because the last thing we want is to feel like it's not a big deal, to feel like God's not seeing that we're really affected by it. And so what we will tend to do is we will put up these protectors. And these protectors are things that we keep in our life in order to keep us from more pain. And so a protector in my life was actually a learned skill, a learned act, a learned behavior of me judging myself, condemning myself, and hating myself. And here's why. It was really painful if other people hated me, if other people judged me, if other people misunderstood me, if other people condemned me. And so what I decided to do is, in order to achieve less pain, I decided to take that over and judge myself, hate myself, and condemn myself, because it would become less painful if other people knew that I was aware of the wrongdoing that I was creating. So when it came to struggling with porn, for example, I was very scared of God hating me, judging me, condemning me. And so what I would do is, after I'd watch porn, I would judge me, condemn me, and hate my guts, hate myself, tear myself down, swear, cuss, berate, just tear myself in a new one, because I didn't, and this was subconscious, this was all in the background of my mind. I didn't know that I was actively doing this, is I was really, really scared of God punishing me. I was really, really scared of him tearing me in a new one and saying, I can't believe you did that. Again, I misunderstood the heart of God completely. I didn't know, and I want to share this from my journey, because I want it to maybe mirror and help you give language for why you do this. The only reason why we keep these unhealthy traits or cycles in our life is because we think there's a payoff. We think there's a benefit. We think there's a way that we're winning if we did. And in my world, I kept that up because I thought it would be so painful. It would destroy me if God had to rebuke me, if God came to judge me. I didn't want that. And so what I decided to do in a subliminal, subconscious way is take over the punishment, because I assumed I was going to get it from God. Again, a misunderstanding of his heart fully, but to like a little kid or a young teenager who doesn't have identity, who doesn't have perspective, this was as creative as I could possibly get. And this is what a lot of us will do with our protectors, is we will create painful cycles in our life because we think that if we were exposed, it would create even more pain. Because I was like, well, if I don't do it, and someone does judge me or they do find out that I'm watching porn and they hate me for it, I at least want them to know that I'm aware of why I'm so bad. So it'll sting less. So I'll say, God, don't worry. I'll take over the punishment for you. I'll judge me. I'll condemn me. I'll guilt me to no end and shame myself and hate who I am so that you don't need to do it. That's literally what I would say to God every time I'd watch porn. And then I would just tear myself in a new one. And I didn't realize that I was doing this all over the place. I would call myself a failure. I'd call myself a mistake. I would do this with friends. I would do this anytime in sports. If I played soccer and I missed a shot, I'd be like, you're an idiot. And I'd start berating myself. And so when my coaches went to correct me, I was like, I get it. I'm a piece of, and then start laying in. And they kind of be like, whoa, okay, it's not that bad. But, you might want to adjust this and do that. And so I prepped for being really hurt by people. And I feared being really hurt by people. So I decided it would be better if I just hurt myself chronically, if I abused myself chronically, if I manipulated myself chronically, again, because I didn't want to be hurt. I didn't want to be rejected. I didn't want to be let down by others. That's so painful. That's so hard. That hurts. That's so scary for someone who's got a very fragile ecosystem internally on identity. That was me. And so I want this to help maybe promote and provide language for you on why you're operating with guilt, on why you're shaming you, on why you're judging and condemning yourself and hating on yourself over and over. Are you doing it because there's something that you're trying to protect? Is it because you are trying to prove to other people that you're sorry for what you did? Is it because you're scared of being found out for the mistakes that you've made and being told about it, so you are constantly reminding yourself of being the failure first, because it would be less painful if you tell yourself you're a failure, so at least others, when they chime in with you, they're like, okay, cool, that guy's aware, he's a failure. Oh, okay, cool. They see it. Matt sees that he sucks. Okay, phew, I don't have to rub it in that much. There was a time in my life where I went off-roading in the winter, and so we were in the snow, we were four-wheeling, and we were out in the Bootenays. I brought myself and one of my trucks with my sisters that were with me. I have 4 younger sisters, and so quite a few of them were with me in the vehicle, and we went off-roading. And we ran out of gas, literally in the middle of nowhere. Like, we were super far away, no cell service, and this was years and years ago. And I remember we were totally stuck. And my sisters are much younger than I am, and I felt bad. I was like, we had no heat in the car. It was luckily a nice winter day, so if we had to walk, it would have been probably like 2+ hours of walking, maybe more, but we would have been able to make something work. And out of nowhere, we probably literally no more than 5 minutes goes by, and these huge, like, monster truck dudes start driving by. And they had gasoline all over their vehicles, stretched everywhere. They were going clearly off-roading for the whole day. They had built these trucks like you could have never bought something. They were massive. They were like 2 to 3 times taller than mine, something you would see at like a smash-up derby. I was quite perplexed and enamored. And I remember they stopped to kind of see what was up while I was kind of like in the middle of the road there, almost blocking their access to going by. And I just said, hey, dude, and I prefaced it because, again, I'm thinking I have no gas in my car. I see it, they do. I'm an idiot. I suck. And so what I thought of doing was telling him, hey, man, I'm a real bozo. And I decided, you know what? I'm not going to do it. I'm just going to own the fact that I had no gas because the gauge on my vehicle is broken. It was pretty old. And I'm just going to see where this goes. And here's what's funny. And this is the human nature of why we self-protect. And this, to me, I was more healed in my journey at this point, but it shows for a story on how we all do this. I remember telling them the story. I'm like, hey, man, my gauge is broken. I thought I had a lot more gas. We ran out. I'm totally cool to pay you guys and give you some cash. Is it possible that I could just borrow a little bit of gas, just have some to get myself down to the station? And they hummed and hawed, grumbled, complained. They were a couple years older than me, and I was just owning. I'm like, look, I wouldn't care if you left me in the dust, if it was just me, but I got my little sisters in the car. It'd mean a lot just so we can get down the hill. And they did. And as they were starting to get the gas, the one guy, of course, there's always one dude. And this is why I had a complex of hating myself to avoid the fear that other people, would chime in first. And he just says to me, he's like, dude, he's like, I hate to be that guy that says this to you. And he's like, but like, what were you thinking? Like, you're kind of a big idiot for coming out here with not having gas. Like, you should probably make sure that you have gas in your car before you come out into the middle of the woods. And I remember just partnering with him in that and saying, dude, you're so right. You know, like I'm such a tool, I'm such an idiot, I'm such a goof, I'm a fool. Like, I don't know why I didn't do that. And I started to see that as he did that, my defenses were growing. And internally, I was like, hey, tell this guy that you know you're a big like butthead first so that he doesn't have to lay into you, because that's really painful. And I started to know and just became aware that that was something I was consciously doing, which is really interesting. And the reason why I share that story is because that's exactly why I had torn myself in all those years. And that's maybe why you operate from such a place of low self-worth, because you're really, really afraid of being attacked and criticized and torn down by others. And so to create a sense of protection, a sense of safety, you hurt yourself first so that other people stop. Again, I've iterated that point a few times, but it's worth mentioning. And what I want you to do is just reflect on that, journal about that, talk about that, share that in the group with the people that you're doing this with, your friends on this journey with you, and the people around you, on how you've maybe been using and why, like guilt, condemnation, and self-hatred to prove a point, as a point of self-protection. And what's your relationship with that been? Why do you do it? Where did this come from? What were the experiences that led you there? As you dialogue about it, it's going to help you bring awareness, and awareness is going to break the pattern. There's nothing to fix, there's nothing to do, but something to become very, very aware of. Because I thought it would destroy me if other people try to put me in my place, is what I feared. So I took over the show, and really, maybe it only happened a couple times in my life, but it was painful enough that I decided that I needed to keep on doing it perpetually over and over and over and over and over again, so that that type of scenario would never happen again. It made me miserable, it made me unhappy, it made me disconnected, it made me really far from God. But the only way that I was able to start breaking this pattern was recognizing the role and function and purpose and benefit that it played in my life. So have that discussion, journal, reflect on it, share it with the group, see how that has been for you, for your relationship with guilt, condemnation, and self-hatred, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Hey, real quick, if you like that video that you just saw, or if you want to see even better videos than this in a series that I made called Annihilate Porn to help guys or girls like you quit porn, you can subscribe, hit the notification bell so you don't forget any alerts, comment, like, all that jazz, and more importantly, check out the next video that's going to take you even further on the journey from where you are to where you want to be. I love you tons. I'll catch you in the next one.